Okay, what's going on? Thank you for coming over from Gridiron Media to the Unbiased Sports Network page. I'll always start off every single video by thanking you guys for subscribing. It has really been unbelievable how many subscribers, how many views we're getting on this channel already. I've only done, 5 videos here. So you guys have shown unbelievable support. And I honestly do appreciate that. I will always shout you guys out in the beginning of videos. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe. If you give this video a like, would also appreciate that. Let's get into some Giants news. So nothing on Rumble right now, but I'll go onto the Twitter. And we'll start out with one story. I posted a link to a video where Saquon talked about the potential of Odell Beckham returning to the Giants. But here's a quote, and here's just a tweet, and I'll kind of give you a little bit more information on the situation. So here's Art Stapleton on Twitter. Saquon Barkley smiled when the Cowboys' recruitment of Odell Beckham was brought up today. Says he saw Micah Parsons pitch to OBJ, asked why he hasn't gone there yet on social media, and Saquon smirked, saying, "I don't have to tweet at him," which is obvious. They seem like they're very close, both Saquon and Odell Beckham. So this kind of had a bunch of different layers. This interview, like I said, I have the video if you want to go on my Gridiron Media channel on the community tab. I have a link to the video of basically kind of the entire quote. Basically, Saquon was saying that Odell, and I'll just paraphrase, Odell is very talented, and then they asked why or how you would pitch him to come back to the Giants, and he said, well, you don't really have to. This is the Giants. Like, this is New York, and it would be a great story for him to come back and, win again. Or, yeah, I guess you could say again. 2016, they were a playoff team, but come back to New York and continue the special season that they've built so far. So that's basically what he said. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what Saquon said in regard to pitching Odell to come back to the Giants. Odell, I've done a video on this. He's reportedly looking for a multi-year deal. He's coming off a knee injury. He is a free agent, obviously, and he's looking for a little long-term stability, reportedly. We will see. Obviously, the Cowboys are one team that have made it very vocal that they are interested in him. And so you don't know, maybe they're willing to spend a little bit more money or give him a couple extra years or a year here or there in a contract that might bring him to Dallas. But we also don't know about his interest with the Giants in terms of maybe the Saquon and Sterling Shepard friendships are very important to him. We know that he didn't want to leave New York. He made that very clear when he was traded to Cleveland, that he liked New York and he felt like he was traded to Cleveland on purpose, as though to punish him, go to a place that hadn't really won in many years. So he liked New York. He has the connections of Saquon and Sterling Shepard. But we'll see, because right now those guys we don't know if they're going to be long-term pieces with the Giants. So would Odell sign a long-term deal knowing maybe Saquon won't be with the Giants next year or Sterling Shepard? So that's just that. Just want to give you a little update on the Odell, Giants, Saquon, talking about Odell and all that, and kind of give you a little background information on some of the stories or some of the news in the past regarding Odell and the Giants. We'll go to the next topic again. Art Stapleton on Twitter. He wouldn't be surprised if the Giants don't elevate Landon Collins, because if they do, then they'll have to decide. You only get a certain amount of practice squad elevations before you have to be added to the 53-man roster. So they might go in a different direction with Hank Mandu, the defensive lineman. The Giants are pretty thin on the defensive line, so wouldn't be surprised in that direction. Or Lawrence Cager, who they added, who was on the Jets, and who was wide open against Seattle on a potential big play that was not hit. So maybe that's a guy, according to Art Stapleton, that they go with for Sunday's game. Final tidbit of news here. Dan Duggan on Twitter. So Brian Dable's optimistic that Kenny Golladay will be ready to go. All signs point to Kenny Golladay playing, but also O'Shane Ximines and Cordell Flott. Dan Duggan believes that they are also optimistic that Ximines and Cordell Flott play as well. They were listed as questionable, but he believes that they're in the direction of playing. Ximines was a pretty key Giants player earlier in the season, especially when Kayvon Thibodeau was kind of getting back into things. Azeez Ojulari hurt. They had some injuries. Leonard Williams was banged up, and Ximines gave them some pass rush off the edge. So he gave them he had 7 pressures, 2 sacks. He gave them some quality pass rushing depth on the edge. And Cordell Flott's played in 3 games. So rookie. So getting him back, we do know that the Giants are a little bit thin in the secondary as well. Xavier McKinney, the safety, he's out for at least 4 weeks. They obviously lost their starting cornerback too, Aaron Robinson. It looks like he's out for the season. Fabian Moreau has stepped in and he's played well for the Giants, but would be a big piece getting another member of the secondary back and healthy.